Council members A. Ralph Casey, David K. Clements, and Lucas A. Tuning. Also participating this evening are staff members as noted.
Good. Do the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You good? No. All right. You have the agenda in front of you. We'll start with an approval of the agenda. Okay.
So moved.
Have a motion?
Second.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The agenda is approved. Next, we have the consent agenda in front of you. If you would take a look and see if there anything that needs to be done. Otherwise, I'll look for an approval.
So moved.
Motion?
Second.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The consent agenda is approved. All right, next we have a couple special items on the agenda tonight. We have Jessica Dillon, who is with the Department of Social Services, who's here with her, a lot of people from Social Services. Tony's here. We're happy to have him here. She's going to come up and talk about Child Abuse Prevention Month. But before that, you know, Jessica is really active in the community, and she does not know I'm going to say anything about her, which, you know, now she might be embarrassed. But she does a whole lot, and I was talking to Tony Saturday at the event, and that event's not possible without her. I mean, it really is not. She does a lot of extra work. She's not paid to do the extra work, and so tonight we would like to recognize her with the key to the town. So Jessica, come on up. If you would, please. She didn't know. I promise you. That is true. And so, it's for you. You're welcome. And you get to talk now after that. Say lots of nice things about all of us. But thank you. Absolutely. See? You're welcome.
Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, thank you guys so much. This means a lot to me. Now I don't even know what I was going to say because I had no idea. And this would explain why my mom is here today. I didn't know why she was here. But thank you guys so much for always being so supportive of us at DSS. Thank you all for wearing your pins in the blue throughout the month of April. It's a topic that is very important to me and also everyone that I work with at our agency. So we appreciate that a lot. Saturday was a great success. We had hundreds of kids and their families there who partook in all of the fun activities that we had. And even though it was a day full of fun, we also got to spread the word about child abuse prevention and how to make reports, what to do, how to teach your children different ways to make sure that they understand how to keep themselves safe. So it was a great day for all of those things. Also throughout this month and earlier in the month before, we did a lot of things in the schools with the kiddos and making friendship bracelets and talked a lot about kindness. So thank you guys for also participating in activities like that. It means a lot to us and everyone here in the town of Rocky Mount. So thank you.
Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
All right, next, we're going to recognize the water treatment plant staff. Robert?
All right. So this item, council will remember, it has been on the agenda before because the water treatment plant typically gets this award each year. Kevin, do you know how many years now? It's been a long time. So the award that they received is the 2025 Gold Performance Award, and that comes from the Department of Health Office of Drinking Water, and it recognizes the staff at the water treatment plant, Kevin, and the rest of the gentlemen that work out there for the way they stated it is it's a performance award for excellence in clarification, filtration, and backwash. And so that means that they're doing everything correctly, and the state checks that out. And so it's nice to get independent verification that things are being done correctly. And we talk about it all the time, but one of the reasons that we don't really have a lot of conversations in this room about the water treatment plant or about water is because they take care of everything. So we don't have it come up a lot, but we appreciate the work that they do. Unfortunately, you don't get a key to the town tonight, but
I imagine he's got a key or two to the town.
yeah, he's got some keys. But thank y'all for the work that you do. Last week, Kevin and Assistant Town Manager Moore and somebody else went with you. Mike Kraft, that's right, went to accept the award. They do a kind of a recognition luncheon in Roanoke every year, and so they were invited to go to that and receive the award. And council members had an actual scanned copy of the award, so you could see what it looked like. It was in your packet. So, thank y'all for everything
Thank
you do.
you, guys.
Yeah, thank y'all.
Next, we have the recognition of the VA 250 car project. Mr. Wood?
So, council will remember this one. The town actually participated as a sponsor on that event, so it kind of got some publicity about how they broke the speed record for a stock car. I guess there's different land speed records, but they beat the one for the stock car. And I think they topped out at 258, 250 something. It was over 250. And if you saw the video, it was pretty impressive. They shifted gears the last time at 190 miles per hour. That was the last time they shifted gears. So it's pretty impressive to watch if you haven't seen the video.
Where was this done?
It was
Florida.
Cape Canaveral where they
Canaveral.
launched the different shuttles and rockets and everything down there. Yeah,
One of the flattest runways on Earth.
Okay.
Read about that.
I guess that's why they chose it.
Yep.
Good stuff. All right. Good. Now, we have a public hearing tonight on the zoning map amendment, official zoning classifications for the 278 new town parcels from the boundary line adjustment with Franklin County.
Thank you, Mayor. The boundary line adjustment between Franklin County and Rocky Mount was finalized in December. So the next to final step is assigning zoning classifications for all 278 of those parcels. All but one of those parcels were previously unzoned parcels. At the time of incorporation, parcels are temporarily assigned a zoning classification. I think in this case, all of them were temporarily assigned R1. Staff has recommended zoning classifications based on the current use, neighborhood characteristics, and the best future use of the parcels. The Planning Commission held a public hearing on Tuesday night and voted 7-0 recommending approval of the proposed classifications. And I think you had the maps with all the proposals in your packet, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions of staff? You're just looking for an adoption of the proposed
Yes.
zoning map amendments? Okay. All right. Any other questions of staff? No? Any motions?
I'll make a motion to approve as presented.
Second.
I have a motion to approve and adopt as presented and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That is adopted. We have 3 new business items tonight. We have the selection of a contractor for North Main Street water line replacement. Mr. Wood, if you would.
Council, you may remember that last fall, we had a discussion about this North Main water line. It's something that's been on the books that needed to be done for quite some time. We got bids last fall, expecting that it was going to be in the neighborhood of $800,000 or so. Unfortunately, it came in at $1.8 million. And so we worked with the contractor some to try to see if that could be negotiated down to a number that was more workable for the town, and that was not successful. So we bid it out again, and as you have in your packet the actual bid tabulation, where luckily we got a bid that was right at about $800,000 and a couple of other ones, but the low bid was about $800,000, and the contractor was Aaron J. Connor General Contractor, who apparently does a lot of work in the area, a lot of work for the Water Authority and some other groups, so they are known as a reputable contractor. So the recommendation from staff is to go ahead and award the contract to Aaron J. Connor General Contractor.
Questions of staff or Mr. Wood?
Nearly half the price, but we still feel good about their work.
Yeah, they, Brian Schofield is familiar with their work, and also our engineer, and they both said they do good work, and actually a contractor that I think we've even tried to work with in the past, but they usually stay so busy, it's hard to get them down this way, so we were happy to get their bid, and especially happy to see the price.
Yeah.
All right. So you need a motion to award the contract?
Yep.
I'll make a motion to award the contract as presented.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? That motion carries. Do you want to try to get in touch with Tyler? See, apparently he's texted.
Yeah, he's
so
trying to get in.
we can try to get him on the phone for this.
I
Sorry
think
about
you'll
that.
need to vote to do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So since Councilmember Lee cannot be present due to family health reasons, if council would vote to approve his remote participation as outlined in the policy previously adopted by council, I would need a motion.
I so moved.
I have a motion
Second.
in a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That motion carries. If you could just see if we can get him on there.
Hey Tyler, this is Mark. We paused the meeting at, right, we're on 7.2, getting ready to get the financial update, so we paused the meeting to bring you in.
Great, thanks.
Yep.
Tyler, you can hear us? All right. Next, we have the presentation by Town's Financial Advisor, Davenport Public Finance.
Thank you, Mayor. David Rose from Davenport. You should have on your iPads our presentation. I won't be very long this evening, Mayor. But again, as your financial advisor, had the good fortune of working with the manager, assistant manager Mark, and of course with Vincent for a number of years now. I was here back in 2024 when we did some financing and have been keeping strong tabs with your overall finances. Simply stated, the town is in very strong financial position. And again, we think that if that were not the case, we wouldn't be able to be here tonight to talk about doing some funding, both for new money and also to take out certain financings that we did in a short-term nature. So with that said, I'm not going to spend more than just a few moments. You've got the presentation in front of you, but there are no surprises. What we've got here is the ability to take out, as we call it, term out, a bond anticipation note for roughly $5 million. That current interest rate on that is about 4.45% at short term, and we've always had the plan to take it out permanently, and we believe we're going to be able to do that because of the overall market and your strength as a financing institution. We think we can actually get long-term rates at or below that. But again, better than we did for planning purposes, so we feel good about that. Couple points I'd like to make if you go to that page 2. In the last fiscal year, 2025, the town continued to be structurally balanced, which means that recurring revenues were greater than recurring expenses, and as a result, you actually added some $400,000 to your bottom line, to your fund balance. You have a fund balance policy that says that you'll keep at least 20% of reserves, and you far exceed that. So again, you're in very good position, and we see no reason why that won't continue. You have several self-imposed policies as it relates to debt, and even with doing these planned financings, as well as some recommended financings going forward, you're still well under your policy in terms of the caps, if you would. So again, everything here that we see, the town is in excellent position. So with all of that said, I just want to point out, you mentioned the water just recently, just a moment ago, the manager did. Your utility system is very strong. You've been doing some rate increases on a planned basis, and we're able to continue to keep those planned rate increases and still keep it all self-supporting. That in turn helps keep the pressures down on the general fund because again, on the utility side, only those that actually get the benefit of the water and sewer systems use it, and that's important. So again, it's very structurally sound. You've got certain self-imposed guidelines, and you meet or exceed all of those and plan to continue to do so into the future. On page 4, we just show you, you've got 3 outstanding, we call it bands. Because you're in good shape financially, we're going to recommend two things. Number one, we're going to recommend that we term out that 5.5 million tax exempt band, the one I talked about, which is at about 4.45%. But we're actually going to talk about paying off the $500,000 band with cash. So again, we're going to actually, when all's said and done with outstanding debt, we're going to decrease the actual debt outstanding. At the same time, we're going to recommend, if you go to page 5, borrowing for both 10 and 20 years for certain capital needs that you've approved in both the general fund at about 1.75 million and then the utility fund at about 1.05 million. So collectively, slightly under $3 million we're going to recommend that we borrow. Some is going to be out at 10 years, some at 20 years. That ties directly to the useful life of the facilities or the equipment that you are talking about. The good news here, all of this has been planned, all of this is well thought out, and we've reviewed it. We've been a part of this. We meet regularly with your staff, and again, there are no surprises here. So your planned increases of 6%, while nobody wants increases, again, they're so you continue to do those things from a financial perspective that keeps you in a solid position always around. Page 6, for those who like graphics, we just wanted to show you what will happen here. You're going to basically use a portion of the $800,000 you received from the county to pay off that $500,000 ban. The extra $300,000 will go towards helping defray the debt service on the terming out of that $5.5 million. The other piece there is adding in that $1.75 million, as I said, for the general fund and the $1.05 million for the utilities. It's important to note with doing all this, there will not be necessary any increased taxes related to the general fund. You're able to strategically layer this in, and we've worked very closely with your staff in all of this. So that said, you can see the very bottom box, the collective of all this will be an $8.3 million financing we're proposing, and we're recommending doing it, we call dual track. Again, remember, we are your financial advisors. We're not here to sell you. We're your fiduciary. We're here to make sure that whatever choice you make, if you do, it's going to be in the best interest of the town, both the short term and the long run. So last couple of pages here, page 7, that dual track is going to be similar to what we did a few years ago, and that is to look at both the state program, the Virginia Resource Authority. They have what we call a summer pool. Others like yourself could be in that program. We have to apply on or about May 1st. And then lastly, we're talking about looking at directly local banks and regional banks. We did that successfully back in 2024. So the other thing I should point out is that note issue, we did in 2024, comes due in 2027. But one of the positives about that is we have the ability to prepay it at any time without penalty. And so because interest rates are highly favorable in the world of tax exemption, which is the way the town is able to borrow for these kind of projects, different than if we were to look at a mortgage for ourselves individually, these rates are actually quite strong right now. So with all that said, we're recommending that we move forward. Just so you know, on pages 8 and 9, we have our ratios, and you'll see there that we're well under our policy, which is where we want to be, and that's important, and that is with the new money that I've been talking about being added in on the general fund on page 8, and then on page 9, added in for the utility funds, that little over $1 million. So in both instances, we are very much within the white lines of what we need to be to stay financially both sustainable and viable. So lastly, on page 10, the schedule, this dual track approach. Obviously, I'm here tonight. It's April 13th. With your blessing, we would put an application in on or about May 1st. It's not binding. They don't charge us to put an application in. But what we're hoping is, with your blessing, we would send out and distribute requests for banks, do that over the next couple of weeks, basically get back responses on or about May 20th, so about a month later, a little less, and then be in front of you on June 8th, Monday night meeting, talk about a recommendation. We'll do that ahead of time with staff so that, again, we can be set up if there's the desire to move forward with the bank loan or the VRA. We'll also need a public hearing. That would occur on that Monday night. Anytime in Virginia you borrow new money, you need a public hearing. We've done that before. And so, again, either way, we do that. At the end of the day, if we do the bank loan approach, we close about June 24th. If we do the VRA, it would not be until sometime in August. Either way, we would make sure that working with staff, the pros and cons of all that would be known. One of the big important things about a direct bank loan is we would come to you if we get bank bids that we like with an actual interest rate or interest rates, a couple options possibly, as opposed to the VRA. You don't set that loan rate until that time in August, and so again, or late July. So again, one is a bird in the hand, the other is to try to see what rates might be. Historically, we've been pretty conservative and like to know if we have a bird in hand. That's typically been our approach. But again, we'll see what happens here. Either way, we're not committed. If everything doesn't look right or if the markets go afoul, we don't have to do anything. We can hold off or hold back. With that, Mr. Mayor, members of council, happy to answer any questions and really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. Any questions? By
What are the average rates you're seeing?
So that's a great question. We've been taking in some bids. Right now, 10-year and 20-year, we are seeing rates at about 4% fixed or lower. Certainly on the 10-year, we're seeing that. But even on the 20-year rates, we're seeing it in and out that range. We have typically run the scenarios that we do for the town at 5%, purposely trying to be on the high side. But that's what we're typically seeing, Councilman.
Gotcha. Have you seen any 25-year hands on an ARM product?
Actually, we haven't really seen that. We like the fact that interest rates are short of the last period, of course, with COVID. Rates are really about 40-year lows right now in the tax-exempt world. So we're trying to, when we can, lock it in. The other thing we're seeing from a lot of the banks is a very, very flexible prepayment. And that's been huge for us. We took in some bids just last week for the town of Smithfield on the other side of the state. And as a result of that, it was a 20-year fixed rate in the low fours. But the beauty of it was after just a few years, it was prepayable at any time with, in one case, a very small penalty, another case, no penalty. So from our perspective, we like the idea that we could lock in a solid rate well below our planning rate, but really have the ability, if rates go lower, to shift down the road. So that was what we saw for 20-year rates.
Understandable. Thank you.
David, I've got a question for you. So on, I don't remember what page it is, but there's the debt that's associated with the bond for the EDA.
Yes, sir.
That you're not recommending.
That's
that we roll
correct.
in. Can you tell us kind of what your thinking was on that?
So taxable rates, that's what that was done because of the nature of the legal side of it. It had to be done on a taxable basis. As I said, that's sort of like a little kin to mortgages out there for anyone that has a mortgage. They're not as exciting in terms of rates. They're not as low, Plus, we know that you're still evolving in terms of looking at that property and the final decisions that are going to be made. So we felt like it made more sense not to try to refinance that or to term that out, especially since we have till sometime in 2028 to do that. We purposely, when we did that, when I worked with y'all on that, the idea was let's give ourselves several years to see what exactly ultimately is the final how we look at that property at all. So we're really thinking, let's keep that where it is right now and keep our powder dry. Now, if you come back to us and say, all right, we've got some known definition of what we want to do, and it has to stay in a taxable mode, we'll monitor that up through 2028, see if it looks better. We could always go earlier, but again, we're thinking there's enough uncertainty. Let's keep that where it is for the moment.
So a combination of not knowing exactly where we're going to end up and also the current conditions.
Yeah, interest rates are really favorable on the tax exempt world. Taxable world, not so much. No.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, thanks.
Other questions? So you need a motion to move forward with your recommendations.
Yes, sir, which is dual track. And again, if we don't like what we get, we're not obligated to do anything. Yes, you have identified some new money. Most likely, would certainly want to move forward on that. But I feel like where we are, we've built in that cushion. And again, we'll monitor that. And hopefully, it's now, as we said, mid-April. I'm hopeful to be back in about, in about a month to 2 months, and really 2 months, maybe a little less, and give you an indication.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Mayor, Robert, one quick question is maybe pertaining more towards Vincent's space, but how does this affect our current budget, knowing that we have some pretty large decisions to potentially make with what that report is now presented to us? Will we see any of that on any of our work sessions, as we know that some of this talking points currently, will any of that be proposed?
Talk about that on Thursday.
We
And
have-
Vincent,
we-
we can take that up on Thursday.
Yeah.
I think that's a.
We can take that up at the work session on Thursday, Tyler. We have funds already budgeted for debt service in the coming fiscal year, so we can talk about that then.
But that shows in the budget books that you plan to give out tonight?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Okay.
Thank you, Mayor.
All right. Anybody want to move forward with the recommendations of Davenport?
I motion that we move forward with the recommendation from Davenport.
Motion?
Second.
Second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Tyler, you voting tonight?
I said aye.
Okay. All opposed?
Muted, sorry.
Motion carries. Next, we have the presentation of the town Rocky Mount proposed fiscal year 2026-2027 budget. Those are going to be handed out tonight in person
As everybody's leaving.
as you're leaving. And then Tyler and Mark will get theirs, Newell will get theirs shortly thereafter. We have the budget meeting Thursday, April 16th at 5 here to go over those with all questions and things like that. Is there anything you want to add to that part?
Nope, that's
Okay.
it.
Good, very good. Next, we have one thing on hearing of citizens tonight. We have Johnny Williams here to speak. Johnny, if you would, come forward.
Yes, my name is Johnny Williams, and I'm with Habitat for Humanity of Franklin County. And since I was here in favor of the zoning that's off Diamond Avenue, or a piece of land we have up there, and since you already approved it, thank you very much for doing so. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Johnny.
Thank you.
All right. We have no one else signed up and nothing else on the agenda. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
In a second. All discussion? Any? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? This meeting is adjourned.
All right, have a good night.
Take care, Tyler.
Need no tissue.
Yeah, my allergies just started running my head.
Oh,
Some of these folks.
candy.
Yeah, let's do it. Let me go stand beside her.